find it interesting how a lot of the things in life that really don't matter, we hold valuable. And a lot of the things that really do matter, we seem to either not hold as valuable or that we don't pay attention to. And I say that to say this, that looks and appearance seem to be highly valued as important and determining a lot of things. And I know for me, like, as far as talking about self-esteem and confidence, that a lot of people, if I've even spoken to them about this, they either don't believe that I've ever been bullied or not had friends or was treated differently, but I was actually treated the opposite as I am now. And going through that experience and experiencing both sides has not only humbled me, but has really taught me a lot and opened my eyes to a lot of things, not just dealing with self-esteem and confidence, but just the perception of other people and the way that their mind works, and again, the things that people hold as valuable, and even as far as holding someone's importance to you as valuable or not. It has a lot to do with looks. And I think that's very sad, which is another reason why I want to kind of talk on it, because it really, I think that, I've even seen videos and things like even on social media where they talking about, oh, bullying isn't that serious and things like that. But there are people that take their lives. There are people's lives that are destroyed. Their sense of self is destroyed, or they're never able to develop a sense of self because of the ways they are treated by other people. And I know that in some people's minds that may not understand or haven't been through this, that it's a simple thing like, oh, well, don't let that shit affect you, just ignore it, just whatever. But when you're a child and this is what you're experiencing for the first time, when you're interacting with other children or other people, it can be extremely damaging, and sometimes it can be a lifelong type of damaging, which is another reason why I want to talk about it. So I wanted to do a kind of little story time, just to kind of put in perspective, because again, like I said, I feel like there are a lot of people that know me now that didn't know me before, and they either don't believe that I have self-esteem issues or confidence issues. They don't believe that I was ever bullied, and just because of the way that I look. And I'm actually going to post a picture. I don't know it'll be on one of these sides, and I can't remember which side is what, but you'll be able to tell. One of them is me now, and the other one is me. I believe I was 15 years old, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I was ugly in the old picture, but I don't look the same as I do now. And like I said, the way I was treated then as opposed to now is the exact opposite. So anyway, into the story time. So I was at the mall one day, and somebody has approached me and asked me if I had ever tried modeling, or that I would consider doing modeling. And it was not something that I had ever thought or considered about. And I actually ended up working with this person, like doing an internship, because I really wanted to learn photography. I wanted to take the pictures instead of being them. That's always my thing. I love imagery. I'm a very visual person, a visual learner. So I wanted to work with them, but I started working with them to learn photography and, professional photography. And through that experience, I ended up trying the modeling. I was extremely uncomfortable with it. Number one, because of my self-esteem and confidence, obviously. But number two, because I had struggled so much with how I felt about myself as a person. And again, when you're struggling with how you feel about how you look, it affects how you feel about yourself inside as well. And I was struggling with all of that so much, and I had been for so long that I never really took pictures. Number one, I didn't really do many social things, and I didn't have, really many friends when I was growing up. But if there was an opportunity that presented itself to take a picture, I was like, nah, I'm good. So I don't have many pictures of when I was younger, and I was very uncomfortable with the idea of being in front of a camera. But I was comfortable with these people that I was working with, and I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna try it. So skip forward, do the photo shoot. Right after the photo shoot, the photographer, he pulls up the pictures on this like big ass screen TV. First picture pops up, and I'm looking at this picture. And this is kind of when everything came full circle for me, to where I really started to reflect and understand what was going on. Sorry, I'm trying not to like get emotional because it sounds really stupid, but it's this type of thing really affects people. So anyway, I'm looking at this picture and yeah, my bad, y'all. So I look at this picture and this is literally my thoughts. Kat, that's you. And when I say that, I mean like I was telling myself like, bro, that's you. Like, that's what you look like. And my next thought was realizing that I was so ashamed and I felt so insecure about how I looked and about myself that I didn't even know what I looked like until that moment. Until I was like, yo, that's Kat, that's you. And I had to tell myself that, like, that's you, Kat. That is what you look like. And I don't mean like I never looked at myself at all. Like I didn't look in the mirror ever and none of that. What I mean is that I was never looking at me. I was looking at what I thought was wrong with me. So again, that was why I never knew what Kat looked like, because I was never focused on Kat. I was focused on what was wrong with her. I remember that day, I really started reflecting on a lot of things and thinking about how much I was affected by people, by people's words, by their opinions, the things that they said to me. So basically, this is what I came up with after that day when I started reflecting. I realized that, and I'm just gonna give an example. So first of all, I have a learning disability. It's called dyslexia, and it affects people differently. But for me, it affects my math skills, my reading, and my spelling. And I was in, special classes, and I would have to have tutors and extra stuff, and I just was really struggling a lot. So that was the two things. It was either you're ugly or you're stupid. That was, two of the main things that people targeted me on. And so it would be like, people would tell me, you're ugly, you're ugly, you're ugly, you're ugly. It got to the point where after the 50 millionth person told me that I'm ugly, I'm a kid, mind you, and no one's spitting wisdom to me, no one's giving me a perspective on anything. This is just what I'm experiencing. And as my interaction with people for the first time, and after the 50th person told me I'm ugly, I'm like, well, maybe I'm ugly. And it got to the point where other people's opinions of me became my opinion that I had of myself. And I know, again, I'm going to say this a good amount in this video, and that it may sound stupid, but when you're a child and you don't, I didn't understand that I can decide things for myself, if that makes sense. I'm a very caring person. I'm a very loving person, and I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I don't give a shit about nobody. Oh, I don't give a shit about how people feel and what people think, because a part of me doesn't give a shit, but there's also a big part of me that does. And I know I really actually care about people. And to be a little bit confusing, but I feel like, I hope y'all understand, it's like I love people, but I hate them at the same time. And there's a lot of things that I dislike about the world and things that people do, but there's also a lot that I love about it at the same time. So it's a very conflicting feeling. But as a child, I've always been the way that I am now. I've always been a caring person and a loving person. And when you care about people, that involves caring about how they feel. I care because I care about people, and I care about how I affect them. And I know it might be simple to other people. If they don't give a shit about how they're affecting you, or they're trying to affect you in a negative way, then why would you give a shit about how they feel, or why would you try to affect them in a positive way? Number one, because I'm not like those people. And number two, because I will never be like those people. And I will never want to make someone feel less than, or feel hurt, or feel ugly or stupid, or to feel like I'm above you. I would never want to make anyone feel that way. And whether you're making me feel that way or not, I'm not gonna be you. I'm not gonna stoop to that level. Now, when someone is treating me some type of way, I just separate myself in the situation. But as a child, especially when you're in school and you have to go to the school, it got to the point where for me, I'm like, bro, I literally was like on some shit like, I'm not going to school no more. Like I'm on some shit. Like I'm skipping school. Everybody else that's skipping school, they going to hang with their friends and doing shit. I'm going to the crib. Like I'm going to chilling in my room and just either going to sleep, watching some TV, just chilling. Like I'm just like, fuck this. It got to the point where I really was not fucking with people because they were making me feel like shit. Now obviously I'm realizing that I was making me feel like shit, because other people's opinions is obviously not what should determine how I feel. So again, I had to learn to separate caring about other people and caring about how they feel, and part of how they feel is what they think, if that makes sense. So I had to learn how to be able to still be that, allow myself to be that person, that caring, loving person, without it damaging me, and without me doing that, and that other people's feelings and thoughts and opinions seeping into me so much that it changes how I feel about myself. It's like I had to learn to filter shit. And because I didn't have anybody there that was showing me or telling me or schooling me on how to do that, I had to learn that for myself. And I think there's a lot of people that don't know how to do that, or that you have been affected so much that, and I'm still dealing with this myself. I still deal with my insecurities and my confidence issues, but I have grown and worked so hard on it. But there's also, I think, a lot of people out here that they don't get to a better place with it. And if anything, they almost digress and go back the other way, and then things get worse and worse over time, which is another reason why I want to speak on it. So I say that to say this: if you are dealing with this as an issue, one thing I will say that's a positive thing is that you can obviously care enough about people to care about their opinions for it to affect you in this way. But you have to be able to get yourself to a place where you can care and love other people and care about their thoughts and their feelings without it affecting how you care and love for yourself. And you have to get to a point where the ways that other people think and feel do not dictate or define or determine how you feel and think about yourself. And I think that when you are a caring and loving person, that can be difficult to do, because I know for myself there are a lot of times where I care so much about people that I will put myself in a bad situation just trying to help somebody else out. Again, that's situational, but you can do the same thing mentally as well. You can put yourself in a bad mental space just trying to help someone else out with their whatever they're dealing with mentally. Same thing. So yeah, there's a lot more that I want to talk about as far as self-esteem, confidence, because I feel like this branches off into a lot of different things and affects a lot about how we treat ourselves, how we treat other people, our decision making, a lot of different things. But yeah, I don't know how long this video actually is going to be, because I've recorded a couple of different clips and I'm going to have to edit stuff together. But you guys, I really am trying to work on not having my videos so long and trying to consolidate things more. So yeah, if you're here and you're listening and you made it this far, again, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'll talk to y'all again soon.